Those staff range in positions from direct care workers in accommodation, which we call residential support workers, instructors in the day services, and employment consultants in the employment services. All of those services then have a support management structure, so staff move through the organisation depending on their skills and abilities.
Our staff provide such services as when working within a client's home, might be personal care, showering, bathing, toileting, very, very intimate, very, I suppose, in-your-face services. Other services would include assisting a client to access the community, whether that be for recreation, leisure, education. We actually have people who are what we call assistant supporters or assistant participants who take notes for clients attending further education programs. So recreation, leisure, education, shopping, banking, attending the theatre, all of those things that I suppose we take for granted, our staff are there side by side with our clients in the community, assisting them again to achieve the greatest level of independence possible. They do a range of other things in the family home. It might be providing respite services to the other family members. They might provide some household cleaning tasks, not so much gardening outdoor duty, but it might be things like assisting with washing or assisting the client to undertake those tasks.
Our disability support workers provide services in a range of situations. They might provide service to a consumer who's living in a residential service. They might provide a service to somebody who's living in their own home and needs a couple of hours support in the morning to get up, get dressed and get ready for work. We have some people who provide a frontline service in an early intervention service where they're supporting the children and assisting with the programs that are being run by therapists and the early intervention teachers. A disability support worker might be working in a school setting, providing support to children in that service. We have some staff who go into community kindergartens to provide support for a child who would otherwise not be included in a standard community kindergarten setting. So a very wide range of opportunities for people who work with people with disabilities.
The majority of our carers are actually part-time or casual workers working in people's own homes, and most of them go in the morning, they help somebody out of bed, they help them with showering, with bowel and bladder regime, and prepare them with breakfast, prepare them for the day, and then leave them. And often the clients go off to work or whatever for the day. The carers return in the evening to put them to bed. Our in-home work is actually done on team basis, so usually we have a team of carers providing service to any one client, usually with a team leader. One carer might work with a variety of clients, and one client will have a variety of carers. We do actually provide respite to some of our clients, and I think respite is an interesting area. One of our clients actually said for respite they don't want someone who looks like their nana, they want a carer who looks like a mate or a friend. And I think that's really important, that actually if they're going out in the community, they want someone who looks right for them. I think the essential skills for a good support worker are actually things we can't teach. We have 4 values at Paraquad, and they're respect, equity, integrity and quality. And as long as you believe in those and you're a people person, you have communication skills, we can teach you the rest. We actually encourage all our workers to take on accredited qualifications. We believe strongly in actually having them all having a Cert 3 or Cert 4 in disability work, and that's written into the workplace agreement. But the essential skills are the ones that we can't teach. And again, they're respect, equity, integrity and quality. That's all you need.
We also need people who have very practical life skills. Lots of people with disability need assistance with everyday things. It could be cooking, it could be cleaning, it could be their own personal hygiene, assistance with toileting and lifting and showering. So people need to be able to be patient. Some of the skills that are required for people to work with people with disabilities is a capacity to clearly communicate. So we look, when we're recruiting, at people's attitudes towards all people, but especially people with a disability, and we look specifically for people who understand the concept of empowerment, of justice, of a fair go.
A good disability support worker is someone who is firstly committed to the job, understands the needs of our clients, empathises with the client's situation, and doesn't take on board necessarily some of the anger or some of the emotions that our clients may be going through. A support worker needs a variety of skills, but I think the key one is probably some common sense and life experience. You can only tell someone so often how to do something, but they need to be able to do it in such a way that encompasses the client's dignity, that encompasses the client's personality, and how to work really effectively with someone who may be going through a stage of grief or going through a stage of euphoria at having achieved something. And we say to our staff, it's really important for you to be friendly, but not a friend. Be friendly as a professional. Other key attributes and skills are to arrive on time. It is vitally important to arrive on time. It is vitally important to finish on time, because that client has a range of tasks that need to have assistance with, that need to be accomplished during that time frame, and they also have a life outside of the time that you're there.
A good disability support worker will have a commitment to the importance of providing people with dignity and respect, a commitment to providing people with the opportunity to be integrated into the community. They will have very good interpersonal skills. They'll be flexible. They will have good communication skills, good teamwork skills. They'll be open to learning. As far as knowledge is concerned, they'll need a range of knowledge which includes things like the legislative framework within which they're working, understanding the disability services legislation, understanding the occupational health and safety legislation within which they're working.
It is really important that carers keep their skills up. We have people who have gone through orientation and then perhaps a certificate 3 or 4 years ago, and things change, and we actually do have to find ways of constantly training them in terms of changes of procedures, policies, OH&S and things, but also in terms of the philosophy underpinning community integration, because what we thought were terrific models 5 years ago are actually not that terrific, and we're finding they're actually only halfway models.
The work program enables staff to provide evidence when they enter TAFE colleges or other RTOs and pursue Certificate 3 or Certificate 4. So when staff have completed Ready4work, they are positioning themselves to be able to get RPL for subjects in Certificate 3 and 4, and then once they undertake those certificates, they will be competent in a number of elements that the courses offer, and then the sky's the limit really. People can then go on to do higher certificates in the TAFE system, or indeed articulate into universities and do degrees in disability or related work. The world is ever changing, and so it is for people with disabilities and the staff that work with them. So none of us are too old or too experienced to learn new things.
So it's really about recognising that your staff have needs in terms of the tasks that we're asking them to provide, the sort of services that we're asking them to support a client in, and saying, well, we can't expect them just to go out there and do it. If they need to have additional training, we must provide that. Every staff must have up-to-date first aid and CPR. So those are sort of some of the base things that every single year need to be addressed. And then we look at each staff on an individual basis and analyse, okay, well, what are your needs in the context of the type of client that you're providing a service to?